Hello and welcome to our next module. In this module, it's actually fairly short. Just really want to give you a high-level view of the difference between criminal and civil law as we wrap up our discussion of the legislative branch. Now, I do have one main reason why I cover this, but we'll get to that here at the end. Criminal law, here's a textbook definition for you: law that defines acts that constitute a violation of public order and provides punishments. In a nutshell, in layman's terms, it's what you get locked up for, right? So we can look at criminal law in terms of felonies as well as misdemeanors. Now, when it comes to criminal law, and I'm sure everyone's seen enough police shows and things like that, like Law and Order. Well, when it comes to the standard beyond a reasonable doubt, right? Innocent until proven guilty. But here's a very important point. The burden of proof is with the state. Now that's one thing. That's really the reason why I like to go over this topic briefly, but to kind of share this with you is that a lot of folks don't necessarily think of this or think of it in these terms. Burden of proof. Burden of proof is a very big deal. Whoever has the burden of proof has the harder job, right? I've always joked around with this in my classes over the years. My two daughters. If one of them came up to me and said, "Dad, Katie hit me." Well, all right. Well, what do? Do I say to do I go to Katie and say, "Prove to me that you didn't," or do I ask her sister, "Prove to me that she did"? Whoever gets that question, whoever has the onus of the burden of proof, has the tougher job, period. All right, so when it comes to criminal law, believe it or not, I don't know if you ever thought this way, but really the deck is stacked in favor of the defendant. Okay. Now, civil law is very different. It defines legal rights of citizens and provides rules for resolving disputes between individuals, corporations, and or the government. So in this case, no law has been broken. And when it comes to this concept of burden of proof, like I'm presenting in this module, it's a much lower standard. You don't have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. You just have to prove a better case than the other party. All right. One of the things we found in the last, say, couple of decades is a lot of folks are opting out of pressing criminal charges in some disputes. They're going straight to civil court. Now, granted, when it comes to civil court, no one would be found guilty. That is a term for criminal law. But they would be found liable or something along those lines. And so there's monetary damages. And because that threshold is much lower, some folks are opting to pursue civil relief instead of criminal relief if they feel like they've been wronged. Again, the standard is much lower. There would not be any jail time involved, but there would be potentially punitive damage via monetary awards. With that, that's the end of this module. As always, you go back and review this as needed. And with that, we will see you coming up in our next one.